am today going to be talking about my app experience as someone who is a fourth grade ELA teacher and one that I could use in my classroom. So the app that I chose was Epic. Epic is an online app or online tool and app that can provide students with thousands of books at the click of a button, and these books are both able to be read and listened to. The topics and genres of these books vary, informational text and literature as well. They also provide videos, which is awesome. They provide so much. And they're also separated by Lexile level and age. So it depends on, as an educator, how I would prefer, like if I were to assign a book in my own class, and let's say we were learning about a topic and I was trying to differentiate, it definitely allows for that. And here's just a couple of screenshots. So right here on the left-hand side is more of kind of like what the homepage will look like for kids and how they can search for books themselves. You can also see on the corner of some of those books that they can be read to the students. Some are more audio books and not necessarily for them to just physically read. Whereas the other ones don't have the option for the read to me. So again, with that differentiation piece, it is fabulous. And then up on the right hand corner, that is one of the aspects that the students do get to look at and use as well. So that looks like a student profile, and it tracks how many books they've read, how long they have read. They can update avatars, which I know students are big on, and it can also see like previous books that they have read as well. All right, so getting into Bloom's taxonomy, looking at which levels I think while using these resources. And after evaluating it, I think that this resource is a very low on the Bloom's taxonomy end, because a lot of it is more of just presented the information to the students, and one of them could be students will comprehend important information and facts that are stated in the text and use that towards the quizzes that that some of the books have at the end. However, as far as I'm aware, and I could be wrong, I know teachers can make quizzes. I don't believe that students can make quizzes after those books. So I feel as though this is very low on the Bloom taxonomy end. And then I just added this quote, which was, "The more things that you read, the more things that you know, and the more that you learn, the more places that you'll go," by Dr. Seuss, because I felt that was very fitting for this particular app. And then how could you use this resource in the classroom? So Epic, like I mentioned, is an app, and you can use it cross-curricular as it offers books on a variety of topics. Some books have quizzes afterwards, which help students check for understanding. So when I say that, I mean that there are books that are more science-based if you're learning about particular, let's say, natural resources, or not natural resources, I'm sorry, natural disasters, and looking at that. You could also use it for some of your social studies topics. So let's say that we're talking about Jamestown, and there are some books on Epic that are there for that as well. And you can use these in lessons. You can use them for small groups. So that's the great piece of it. And teachers can assign books as well. So it's not just children looking up books, but the students can actually go into what is called their mailbox, which teachers can assign books to them. And again, it could be for groups, it could be for the for whole group, or it could just be based off of, let's say, warm up. Students are struggling with some SEL difficulties, like let's say one of the things that people are focusing on is kindness. There's lots of books on kindness. And then after my evaluation of going through the app and the online piece of it, looking at it from a teacher's standpoint and as a student standpoint as well, I would rate this app probably about as a 4 out of 5 stars. There's a lot of pros, and I think it's amazing how students have so much access, or have access to so many books. And I love the fact that you can differentiate, especially with small groups. However, the cons, I do have some issues. even though so many books are offered to these students, it is only to be able to be accessed until 3 p.m. So my issue is like what happens with like after school programs. I know my own school has an after school program that goes on until 5. And if I were to teach it, I would love to be able to have access to some of those books that could help my students who are struggling a little bit, and allow for that differentiation piece. So again, that's my big con is a lot of the books you are all of the books you cannot access until, or you can only access them until 3 p.m. And there are some books that you do have to buy a subscription for, which I believe is fine, like that's okay. But the piece of the fact that it can't be accessed outside of 3 p.m. is really that's hold me up. So, however, this was my evaluation and my review of Epic. Thank you.